So guys, so far we've discussed that in an introduction, we can include a name, but we need to include a name when the interviewer is not aware of a name. Number one. Number two, even if the interviewer is aware of a name and he's calling us by our first name or by second name, we can include our full name over there. Else there is no requirement of including that. The only purpose of including the name over there is that the person should recognize you by your name once you go back from the interview process. You should recognize that candidate came. Right? That name should be there if required. Else move to your experience. That is the next most important thing that you have. And for your experience, have a common line first of all, have a general statement first of all regarding the entire experience that you've got, because many times what happens is that you start talking about something and the interviewer would ask you some question and the entire discussion would go in some other direction and finally you will not be able to talk about the total experience that you've got. So the interviewer might get an idea that you have maybe worked for only one company and only one profile. While you would have worked for 5-6 companies, you would have got a lot of other experience also apart from the discussion. So at least have a particular line over there by which you'll be able to talk about the total experience that you've got and the kind of profiles on which you have worked, all the domains or the fields in which you have basically worked, right? And then include the names of those companies which are important. Give the maximum weightage to that profile on the basis of which you are going to get into this particular profile. So if you have worked for 2 companies and let's say you started your career in Java and then you moved into .NET and now you have decided to go back to Java once again and there's an opportunity in Java now. Which experience becomes more important? Java, right? So give more weightage to that and have a justification also. Proactively you need to include a justification why do you want to go back to the same field. So be very conscious about this. If you justify your answers yourself, the answers become very mature. If you just give the facts to the interviewer and you don't justify them, that somewhere is a little bit immature answer. I hope everybody is getting it, right? So next. After this, the next most important thing is your educational background. Now for your educational background, you should start with your recent education. You may talk about your post-graduation first, if you've done post-graduation, then talk about your graduation, and then after that, you're not required to include information for your schooling, right? Again, simple reason is that nobody is going to give you a job on the basis of your schooling, right? You're going to get weightage of graduation as well as post-graduation, right? Because there is a particular job opportunity which looks forward for some skill sets, and these skill sets, technical skill sets and other interpersonal qualities, they generally get developed in this duration. Not in the schooling, right? But still, if somebody has got a lot of achievements from his school time, then in that case, that person can include those achievements just after. But again, you need to find out the achievements for this duration also, and then you need to identify top 2, 3 or 4 achievements, and then include the achievements of school life if you don't have anything from this particular phase. So every time what we need to do is we need to have a strong filter. We need to find out what exactly suits this particular profile and then have the best information coming out of that. Have a very active approach for making out your answers for this. And that you can do as a homework also, because when you know that there is a company which is visiting your campus, you would definitely get an idea what kind of job are they offering and what kind of skill sets would they be looking for. And you can actually have a small homework to just modify your introduction according to the requirement of the company. Because there are so many things that you could have done, but you're not able to identify what is important for that particular company. So do a homework before going to the interview process and then fix it up, right? So guys, for this, the people who don't have experience, obviously they cannot actually show their practical experience through this thing. They don't have any experience. But yes, during graduation, we do a number of trainings and projects. And we actually learn practical things during these trainings and projects. Apart from this also, you would have actually learned something practically. You would have gone and attended a workshop somewhere. You would have been a part of some particular fest somewhere. You might have made your own project yourself. Now, projects and trainings should be included if you're a fresher and you're actually targeting a company which meets this similar requirement. So, trainings and project explanation is very important. For example, so my name is Sumit Sharma. I am doing B.Tech from XYZ Institute in Electronics. Don't forget the domain, right? I'm in the final year right now. So far, I have done 2 trainings, right? I did my first training after second year. That was my minor training from XYZ Institute in XYZ domain. and I made a project also over there. The name of the project was PQR. The second training which I did was after third year. That was my major training, and I did that training from PQR Institute. Over there, I got learning regarding this technology, that technology, this technology, and that technology. I made a project over there also. The name of the project was PQR. In both of the projects, I used the concepts of this language and that language, and I learned how to handle the database over there. I was the one who had to make the designing also, who had to do the designing also. It means give an explanation of the trainings and projects. Explain it. At least one project should be explained. At least one. Are we required to explain all the projects and trainings? We have got very limited time for our introduction. We may have 1.5 to 2 minutes maximum. We cannot explain all the projects and all the trainings. But do not forget to explain the training or the project which is going to be quite important for this job opportunity. Number one. Or if you're very strong on one project, you can handle the questions, any question regarding that project, explain that project. So identify your strong area and explain that particular portion. I hope everybody is comfortable, right?
What is the meaning of domain?
The field in which you have worked. For example, if somebody has made a project in .NET, he should include that information that I worked in .NET, I made this particular project. If somebody else has made a project in C++ language, so include that information. Don't forget these important elements, right? Similarly, if you're from HR background and you've done a project in HR, then what kind of project have you done over there? Was it into recruitment? Was it for appraisal? Was it for something else? Some satisfaction survey was there? Include that information also. Explain it nicely. You'll be working upon your answers afterwards also. You may write your answers on the rough hand side, maybe on the left hand side. You may analyze on the basis of these points that we're discussing, and you may finalize your answers on the right hand side, and then afterwards we may have a small checking on the answers that you've done. I hope everybody is comfortable over here. Now there are two ways of explaining trainings and projects. Example number one. Let's say there's a candidate who goes to the interviewer. This question may come directly also. The interviewer may ask you directly, have you done any trainings or projects? And then you will have to explain the trainings and projects. And anywhere, if the interviewer asks you a particular question, you have to answer that question. Even if the interviewer directly asks you that who are other in your family, you have to explain that also. Right? You cannot say, sir, I am not included because that is not important, my teacher has told me that. You cannot do that. Okay? You need to explain whatever is being asked on the other side. Okay, over here, let's say there is a candidate and he says, sir, I have made a library management system. Candidate number one. Candidate number two. Sir, I have made a library management system. It was a very good project. My teachers appreciated me a lot and I learned a lot. Candidate number three. Now so far, both of the candidates have been quite theoretical. As an interviewer, you will never get an idea whether they have genuinely worked or they have taken help from Google. Because there are people who copy and paste the projects from Google, and there are people who invest some amount and they buy the project and then they submit the project. That also happens. So, if we actually want to show that we have worked upon the project, we need to explain it. And how should we explain it? You need to find out the important elements out of your project. First of all, find out what was the most creative thing that you did in the project. Talk about the technical side and then talk about the challenges that you had in your project while doing the project. If you would have genuinely done any project, there would have been challenges definitely coming on in front of you. Right? There are many small mistakes that we do while making the projects, and then we need some help. And then we find out a solution and there is a learning coming out from it. So include the challenges over there and the innovative solutions that you were able to apply. For example, candidate number three, he goes and says, sir, I have made a library management system. I started with a concept of making 3 databases, one for the teachers, one for the students, and one for the administrator. But then afterwards I realized that there was a requirement of including a database for librarian also. So I finally made 4 databases. Right? I made this project in C++ language because my concepts of C++ are very strong. I used SQL 5.0 server for maintaining the database, and I used basic concepts of ADO.NET or ASP.NET to have a small connectivity for making the front end also. I know basic HTML also, so I developed a small web page also by which there could be a login which could be done in this particular project. Right? When I was making that project, then there were a few challenges which I faced. I completed the project and I tested the project for 5 entries, it was giving correct results. I tested for 100 entries, it was giving correct results. But when I tested the project for 1000 entries or more than that, then the project started giving errors. Right? It took me 3 days to identify the problem. There was a very basic problem that I had defined the key field as date. Sorting and indexing cannot be done on the key fields like date because we need to have a key field which would be unique, right? So the date was the key field, and that is why there was a lot of confusion going on in the processing and no result was coming out. I changed the key field to the serial number of the books, and the project started working like this. So that was the main learning which I got from my project. Whenever I make any project now, I first of all define a unique key for that. I learned a lot from that project. I enjoyed making the project, and I got appreciation for that. I have just given one example. You also need to find out that what kind of challenges did you face when you made your project, and what were the solutions for those challenges, and just identify one of them that you're going to include in your answer over there. Because we've got very limited time, we cannot go beyond that. But my suggestion to you is that even if you give 70% or 80% of weightage of your entire introduction or duration of the introduction to this phase, that is also fine. That is justified. Because this is the most important part of your entire background on the basis of which you're going to get accepted. And trainings and projects doesn't mean the trainings and projects of minor or major training only. You can include other projects also if you've made any other project. I hope everybody is getting my point. Right? Now, what next? Apart from this, if you've done something else, one more thing guys, if you've done post-graduation, then the trainings and projects of post-graduation are more important as compared to graduation. Don't include the trainings and projects for graduation. Always go for the recent activities that you have done. When you will be filtering out all the information, you will definitely be able to find out the trainings and projects till this point only. You are not required to explain those next. You will not be allowed to do that because the time would actually go beyond 2 minutes in that case. 2.5 minutes is the general time which is given to freshers to speak about their introduction. Next, what next? Anything else that you believe is positive and you are going to get marks for that. Anything else. For example, if you have got some awards somewhere, talk about the awards. If you have participated in some events, talk about the participation. If you have done any other certification, yes.
Specific.
Yes. If you have participated in somewhere means if you have been a part of a fest also, that's a very good information, right? If you got any other certification, even if you are doing this particular course, you can include that information over there, right? Each and every certification would be included if it is quite important for that particular responsibility, right? Next, other information which you believe is going to be important, include that information over there, right? This is the most important phase of your introduction. Technical side will be reflected from this area, and your interpersonal skills will be reflected from this area. Your strengths by default would be reflected from these things. If somebody has participated in a fest, he would have got some better qualities or skill sets as compared to the other crowd. Everybody doesn't get awards. The people who get awards, the people who get participation certificates or appreciation, they would definitely have some better skill sets. So include that information. That would be by default justified over there. If somebody says that I participated in a fest at IIT Kanpur and I got second prize over there, then by default we know that you must be hardworking, you must be proactive, you must be enthusiastic, you must be active, you must be intelligent if that is a technical kind of fest. If that is a technical fest, you must be strong in that particular domain. So this information would definitely come out with justification, without even explanation. On the other side, if instead of talking about this, if you say, I am very hardworking, I am very punctual, I am very analytical, there is no justification coming out. These are only keywords which are coming out. You might have copied them and pasted from Google, right? Or from any other search engine that you like. So the point is, include this information. This would by default justify your strengths and your interpersonal skills. Is everybody comfortable? Right? Let's go forward guys. Towards the end, I've seen many candidates including their hobbies. But I really believe that that is a very, old method that should not be included if you don't have distinctive hobbies. If you've got such hobbies which are going to be really distinctive and they are quite attractive and people might have, some interest in those skill sets, then you can include those hobbies, otherwise don't do that. For example, let's say there's a girl who is going for a marketing job and the lady says, I like traveling a lot. I have traveled all over India. I have visited around 16 to 17 places so far. And I really like to visit new places and meet people over there. So that actually is going to help you out in justifying for the particular profile. Because the profile needs people who would have these kind of qualities, and you're already saying that you've got a hobby like that, so that in any case is going to help you out, right? But again, my suggestion is instead of including hobbies over there, you may have a small mature line coming over there that might be taken as your short-term goal. And this would include the justification of coming to this particular interview process. For example, if you're already working as an executive in a company and you're looking for a job opportunity which would give you a designation of a team leader, in that case your answer would be like this. After all these things, you would say that so far I have been involved in these kind of processes, this, that, this and those, and I have been able to take care of the responsibilities of my team lead also in his absence. So now I am pretty sure that I would be able to take the responsibility of a team leader nicely. That is the ending. Got the right? If you have already worked as a team leader in some company and you're looking for an assistant manager's profile, again, you need to include that information. I've got 3 years of experience at this position now. I have been able to handle a team of these many people. I have been able to give very good output from these kind of projects. I have taken care of the responsibilities of my manager also many a times. I'm pretty sure or I'm confident that now I would be able to justify the responsibilities at a management level. Right? That's a very mature ending. Now what should the freshers be doing in that case? They don't have this kind of experience. So what they can do is they can include an open-ended line over there. For example, let's say I've got keen interest in development and networking, and you need to find out what exactly is the domain in which the company works. Include those keywords only. If there is a company which works in testing and you say I've got a lot of interest in development, I'm looking for a career in development, they're going to reject you obviously because they don't find a connection with the job opportunity in that case. So include very good keywords over there after checking out what exactly are they doing and what exactly are you looking for, right? Otherwise keep it open-ended. I would like to have a good learning opportunity and growth opportunity in a reputed firm or in a good company in IT field. Let it be open if you don't get anything else, right? Otherwise make it specific. And that would be a better approach. If you can just do a small homework. Yes?
If we say that I would like to see myself as a higher position.
That would be a long-term goal. Just include a short-term goal. Very short-term goal. What do you want now? Next. Just now. For example, you can say that I'm looking forward to getting into BPO line because X, Y, Z, P, Q, R. Find out the reasons and apply over there. That would be the ending. So guys, what I want you to do is, I want you to proactively answer why do you want to join that company, why do you want to get into that profile. I want you to answer that question proactively without even a requirement from the other side. I want you to do that. If you do that, that would justify why are you sitting in that interview process. Very point. For example, let's say you're from electronics background and you're looking for IT job, right? Include that information over there, right? That's I have been quite interested in electronics as well as IT. That's why I've done a number of languages also. And I would be pretty happy if I get a job in any one of these domains. But I'm looking for good growth opportunities and very good learning opportunities. I'm open for both of the fields. Full stop. Otherwise, that would be a small justification that you're actually looking forward for that particular role. Now I want all of you to modify your answers, guys. We've discussed the entire structure of introduction. The only thing finally which I want you to remember is always start with the recent activities and go to the past activities and include only those things which you believe are very important for this particular offer that you have from the other side, right? And then filter out the information for your introduction, right? Now you've got 2 minutes to modify your answers and then afterwards we'll move to the next question, right? Okay, you may start. Yes.
I'm still going to college, so
You're still going to?
I've just completed my 12th and going to college.
So this would be required and you would be going for interviews, right? This is a practice that you're doing for your future when there would be companies visiting your campus. So what should you include in that particular situation? This is what we're discussing here, right? If you've got any other interview process before that, in that case, you need to again come back to me and I'll tell you what exactly should be done. But if you've just maybe taken admission in a college, in that case, you need to wait for at least 3 years to get onto this position. But you should know it. Right? Okay, please please modify your answers. Write your answers quickly. We got 2 minutes.